Yeah, welcome to my talk. If you've been here earlier at 3:30 at the talk, it will be the exact same talk. There was just an issue with the recording. So, so yeah, we're rerunning the talk. I'm Manu from Safe. I'm working at Safe Wallet, so working as a front-end developer for the wallet interface. And this talk will be mainly about building with Safe Core SDK, but we'll also shortly look into the Safe Protocol Kit. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let's quickly talk about Safe. Like most of you probably know Safe already. If you never heard of Safe, you probably heard of Gnosis Safe. It's a old school multi-sig wallet which launched in 2018 already in the first version. But it's way more than just a multi-sig wallet. Basically, we're trying to push the account abstraction narrative because Safe is also an ecosystem and a protocol. So that means there's multiple dApps already building on Safe or using Safe under the hood. For instance, WorldCoin is also here, like they're using Safe. Every WorldCoin user is also a Safe user, so to say. And yeah, this talk will be about Safe Core SDK. Safe Core SDK, simply put, is a TypeScript SDK, so a library just with helpful wrappers for better developer experience when you build on Safe or when you try to integrate with Safe contracts. Talking about Safe, like we restructured the company or the project a little bit, so we split into two groups. Safe Core, we will talk about it more in this talk, and Safe Wallet, that's where I work at Safe. Safe Wallet is mainly responsible for maintaining the interfaces. That means the web wallet, or the web interface for the wallet, and also the Android and the iOS app displayed here in the screenshots. While Safe Core is responsible for multiple things. You can split it into like three groups. The first is the Safe Core protocol. We will talk a bit more about it in a bit. It's basically the smart contracts powering Safe. Then the Safe Core API, that's mainly the transaction service it's called. It's also some other services, but mainly it's services which, for instance, index Safe transactions, which index created safes, and which offer an API to quickly query which safes are deployed, what are the setups for a safe, so you don't have to fetch all the data on-chain all the time. And then the Safe Core Account Abstraction SDK. I already mentioned it. It's like this TypeScript SDK, just wrapper around the Safe smart contracts, wrapper around some account abstraction kits. We will talk about it in a little bit. Let's start with the Safe Core protocol. It's quite new. Previously, we also used to call Safe Core protocol or Safe protocol the set of smart contracts which are right now deployed in prod. But we are pushing for a new Safe Core protocol soon. Right now, it's in the alpha state. It was announced yesterday at ECC, the first time in public. And it's basically this architecture. So it's a new framework or a new protocol around smart accounts. And the idea is that it's split between accounts, registries, and integrations, where accounts are smart accounts. At the beginning, it will be Safe supported. But the idea is that also other smart account developers or other smart account wallets could plug into this protocol and then also use the same plugins and registries. So it's not just bound to Safe. What are registries? It's quite simple. Registries is just a registry where we have audited or sets of audited contracts. These contracts are these integrations. So it's always a bit tricky to know, okay, which of these plugins can I trust, right? And that's why we need registries. But there could also be multiple registries, could be by multiple DAOs, by multiple protocols, just so that you know who audited it and who you can trust. For integrations, plugins are very similar to modules, which already exist in Safe. So it enhances a Safe by some new functionality, which isn't there in the core contracts or in the native contracts. Hooks hook in to the transaction lifecycle. That means there's callbacks for lifecycle events, for instance, pre-execution or post-execution, and also some other events. And you can implement what should happen or what should get checked there, right? So you could build some security feature where you revert a transaction if some condition is not met post-execution or something similar. Function handlers and signature verifiers is what currently is implemented in the fallback handlers, or in the compatibility fallback handler, it's called in the current safe contracts. So for instance, a signature verifier, that's where the 1271 signature check is implemented in. So if you want to build something more sophisticated in the signature check, so for instance, you could use it for DEXs, for like smart orders. You could check some oracle if some price conditions are met, and only then you could say that the signature is valid, and otherwise the 1 inch or the cow swap order would not be able to get executed, or whatever other DEX.
Sorry, I missed it. What is update by the registry? I was at the registry of Tenfar on because of the integration store.
Yeah, the registry basically registers these plugins, hooks, etc., so that you have like a source where you can check which plugins exist. Like, and the plugins also come with some metadata on chain, like how's the plugin called, which version is it, and so basically it's a way to find and discover these plugins also, while at the same time bringing security, because you could have a registry which is quite strict about that every plugin needs to be audited and whatever, while another registry might be less strict, but in a way, if you trust the registry, then or if you know a registry with high security standards, it's also a security feature. But it's also for discoverability of plugins. I will show a quick demo like a very quick demo. Yeah, if you want more information, we updated the docs today. So if you checked the Safe docs yesterday, please check them again. Also, there's some other changes because we just deployed a new version of the Account Abstraction Kit. And yeah, for the demo, I will quickly switch to a new browser tab, make it a bit bigger. I hope you can see it. Yeah, basically the demo, which is also linked on the docs, so you can try it yourself. It's basically an application. It's deployed on a GitHub page also, or you can run it locally. And you can add it as a custom Safe app to your Safe. So here, and important, it's as I mentioned, it's alpha, so it's only on Gurley right now, because we don't want a false sense of readiness for this feature, right? So we don't want people to actually use it with actual funds, because it's still in a very alpha stage. So yeah, you can add it on a Gurley Safe, and then you can open it. You can see the available plugins. So this list of plugins, that comes from one test implemented registry. So that's why I meant it helps for exploring plugins, for instance, or hooks, for instance. And here you could now enable some of these sample plugins, or like there's also an example for a relay plugin, which relays transactions through Gelato, paying the fee from the Safe, and it could also pay in ERC20 tokens. I will not show them more detail because the talk should be more about the Account Abstraction Kit, but I want to mention it because we have bounties about the Safe Core protocol. So if you have further questions, please come to our booth or use our Discord, and then we can talk about them. Yeah, or check out the demo yourself, and then you can also try to relay with it. Let's go back to the slideshow. Okay. Let's talk about the Account Abstraction SDK. So I mentioned it's a TypeScript library, and it consists of multiple kits, and every kit has multiple packs, which are kind of the implementations. So the kit is kind of the interface for a certain feature, while the packs there can be multiple for certain integrations with it. So the Auth Kit is the first. As the name says, it's for authentication. That means it's a kit to create an Ethereum address, which then becomes a signer of a Safe. So currently, you can, for instance, use a social account, or your Google account or your Apple ID, to create a signer using MPC through a provider, and use that as a Safe signer for a deployed Safe. Then the protocol kit, like the protocol again, are the Safe contracts. So this is a wrapper around the Safe contracts. Like you need to give it a signer, and then you can sign transactions, send transactions, or deploy Safes also to this kit. Yeah, or for instance, you could also deploy a Safe and already do a transaction in a batch with it. Then the Onramp Kit, as the name says, it's quite simple. You can buy crypto with fiat and put it into and fund your Safe address through it. And the Relay Kit, I already also mentioned the provider like Gelato. The idea is that you don't pay gas from your EOA or from the executor of the transaction or from the signer of your Safe. but you, for instance, could pay directly from your safe or through something like a third-party provider which offers to pay the gas for you. Here's some examples of the current existing packs. We plan to also extend these packs by new providers as we go. So for the Auth Kit, currently we have the Web3 Auth Kit. It uses Web3 Auth.io to create like a signer using NPC from your social account, like I mentioned. The Stripe pack, it only works in the States currently because Stripe is only available in the States for on-ramping, but there it works. And the Monerium pack is quite new. I don't know if you heard of Monerium, but they are in Europe and they use a Euro stablecoin, and you can on-ramp to a bank account which is then connected to your safe. And the Gelato Relay pack uses Gelato to Relay. You can pay directly from your safe with it, or you can also pay through OneBalance. Yeah, we also plan to add more kits in the future. Like right now, we're looking into recovery kits or a multi-chain kit. Like a recovery kit is, as the name says, to recover the safe if you lost access to a signer, for instance, or to add a custodian. If you use a custodian service, then it's like half not self custodial anymore, but yeah. And the multi-chain kit, we're also looking into supporting multi-chain better for safes, because right now a safe is only deployed on one address always, and it's a bit tricky to interact with multiple safes on multiple networks. And of course, as the future will tell, we will also have more topics which are important and add more kits to this SDK. Yeah, the SDK is deployed or is available on GitHub and on NPM. It's called Safe Core SDK from ETHGlobal, and it consists of these mentioned packages. Like here's also another list of the packages. And the only one I didn't cover before is the Safe Core SDK types. And the Safe Core SDK types are basically just like some TypeScript types which are used across the other kits, so we don't have to copy paste them everywhere. So just some types. Yeah, let's also do a quick demo of the kit. Like we have a demo app. You can also try it yourself. It's a small React app. I hope it's big enough. I'll zoom in a bit. Yeah. And yeah, in this demo, you can use some test network, for instance, like Mumbai. You can start the demo. I already did before. I hope the Wi-Fi will work properly. And you can try out the different kits. Like this is the Auth Kit. So this is the Web3 Auth modal, which opens, and you can say you want to continue with your Google account, for instance. Then you log in with your Google account. It will create the signer key from it and the signer address. And takes a bit. Okay, here. Now we see the owner ID. That's the signer connected to the safe as an owner. That's the ID generated with Web3 Auth. And the safe account is deployed with that owner. And we also see the address here in this small demo app. It also shows like some code snippets on how this is built. I mean, it's not the exact code, but you can also check the demo is also open source to see the exact code. But this is basically to explain how they work. So here we import the Web3 Auth kit or two objects from the Web3 Auth kit. Then we need a bunch of options. They come from Web3 Auth, or they required on Web3 Auth's side, like the client ID. Like you need to register as a customer, then you get a client ID. You have to put it here. Or you also can configure which chains should be used, and then some UI options, which are not super important and self-explanatory. Yeah, and some other small options for Web3 Auth, and then in the end, it's always a similar structure. Like as I said, like the interface is basically always the kit, and the packs are the implementations. So here we initiate the Web3 Auth modal pack, and then we initialize the kit with this pack, and then we have methods like sign in, sign out, get provider, etc. I can use those to interact with the safe then. Next is the Onramp Kit. I can sadly not show it because right now we only integrated Stripe in this demo app because Monerium just launched, I think, like last week. But basically, if you click on it, we can see the model, but it won't work because we're in Europe right now. If you want to try this, there will also be a link if your safe has no funds yet to the Mumbai faucet. So you could also fund it with the Mumbai faucet and then continue in the demo. Here it's similar, like the how to use shows you a small snippet. So there's some variables required on Stripe's end, like the Stripe public key, etc. some session data also, which contains like the chain supported and which currency to use, etc. And then again, you create, like you initialize here the kit with the pack. And then you have functions which you can use, like save onramp.open will open the Stripe onboarding model. Yeah. Next, the relay kit. Also a small demo I will already click because it takes a bit. But all that happens if you click is the Web3 auth signer will be used to sign a transaction, which transfers 0.01 Matic from the safe to the safe itself. And it relays the transaction cost from the safe. So as we saw here, it was just one click. I didn't need to sign in MetaMask or anything else. And the transaction is being executed on chain. So this kind of shows the power also of account abstraction. Yeah, as we see, it's success. So we could check the transaction if it's included here. Okay, Polygon scan is a bit slow. You have to trust me. Just try it yourself. Okay, let's continue with the slides. I talk about the hackathon. Like this year we have like $10,000 in hackathon bounties for the Safe Foundation. And they're split between these two projects I presented. Like if you want to be eligible for the bounties, you have to build either on top of the Safe Core protocol or the Safe Core Account Abstraction SDK. The bounties have the same tiers on both projects, but it's separate bounties for each project. So you can decide on what you want to build on if you want to build for Safe. Also important for the Safe Core protocol, it's the new protocol, where I showed the diagram, where we updated the docs for. It's not the old smart contracts. Like we would prefer if you try out the new protocol, build a plugin, build a hook, be creative about what you could build with those, or you can also build a registry. Or alternatively, you could even build a new small wallet implementation, which uses this new protocol, like to show that also other smart accounts could be used and not just safes. Yeah, if you have any questions about this, please come to the booth. We'll be there all the time. I'll try to be there as much as possible to answer your questions. And we also have a Discord partner channel, like partner-safe on the Safe on the ETHGlobal Discord. Yeah, here's some more links, like links to our docs, to our own Discord, our forum, and our Twitter if you want to participate in some discussions around these topics, or if you want to just check out the docs or just need some help. We also have a small hackathon success guide, which we try to always maintain between our hackathons, which has a lot of learning materials, has infos about like past workshops or past hackathons. So you see like which teams won in the previous hackathons, what did they build, just to get some inspiration, but also to know what not exactly to build, because it would be good if it's something new and not just an old project revamped. Yeah, this QR code leads to the Notion page with this hackathon success guide if you want to scan it. Otherwise, we also have this QR code at the booth. Yeah, I will leave it on this page. This was the presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out or to ask them now, or otherwise you can always come to the booth or ask on Discord. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Have you considered building a MetaMask snap, leveraging your SDK, like to have a account abstraction with snaps, if you are aware about snaps?
I'm aware of snaps. I guess sure. Like the only requirements to be eligible is that you use the SDK. And I think in the snap you could also use the SDK as a dependency to, for instance, if you want to sign a safe transaction and you have MetaMask, you could fetch some context, right, about the safe transaction through Snap. So definitely, like, the only requirement is to use the SDK or to build on top of the new core protocol. So yeah, would also be eligible.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, the smart account in the new protocol, is that a different contract than the current safe accounts?
No, it would be also the current safe accounts. I think the demo, like currently, as I mentioned, it's only deployed on Gurley.
Okay.
So only on Gurley testnet, and I think they're used together with also the new safe version 1.4.1, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. You can, yeah.
Is that kind of based on the
for 4337 the account abstraction standard, or is that still a different thing?
I think the new safe version also supports 4337. I think also through a module, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a different protocol. Like this
Right.
Safe Core protocol is not directly related to 4337. It's more the idea to have a new framework or have a new architecture or protocol to include multiple smart accounts and have a way of a composable modular architecture to easily extend these smart accounts by new features. And then it would be cool to use them also across different smart accounts and not be bound to a safe. Like, for instance, this example we saw, like all it does is it relays through Gelato. Like it's a plugin. So if you send the transactions through this plugin, it will check the gas costs and it transfer the amount of ERC20 tokens or the amount of native tokens to Gelato in the same transaction, and then Gelato can relay it. That's the demo. Like I also, if you want to check it, like there's a repo. Like this is, for instance, this demo plugin, like the relay plugin. So it's all like it's linked on our docs. You can find it there, and there's a contracts folder, and there you find the contracts used for this raw demo, which you saw here. You can also try it if you deploy Safe on Gurley. You can try to enable this relay plugin, and then try to relay some transactions.
Do these basically replaces module? Is that the right way to think about it?
I think in the future, yes, because the modules right now only work with Safe, right? They're like part of Safe, the Safe contracts, but they're not part of, I don't know, the Argent contracts. So the idea is to, at some point, like have a standard protocol or push for a standard protocol which can be used across smart contract wallets and build plugins for those. So there's different implementations, but they're very similar. Like then
in the short term, we will still have the module and safeguards and stuff like that. And in addition, that you can also kind of enable plugin and hooks.
Yeah, I think in fact you could build a plugin which is a module and a plugin, right? Because in this app, if you enable these, it will in fact just enable a module.
Oh, okay.
Also, like it's kind of both, but it will also be a plugin.
You got it.
I didn't prepare a full demo with a 1 out of n safe right now. I don't have. I can demo it. I can prepare a demo at the booth, and then we can do it at the booth.
I was trying to click on some of the links, and I wasn't getting.
Okay, yeah, we can take a look at it. Yeah, this is all like very new. Like this was the first time. I think this demo was presented 2 days ago, and the general presentation about the Safe Core protocol was given yesterday at ECC the first time. So it's all brand new, all alpha. But we want to gain like very early developer feedback to see if it's like good to build on it, or if it's like if we could improve something. Because right now it's alpha, we can still change it, right? Or if there's any issues with it.
I'm not getting the enable. I don't know.
You have to open it as a custom Safe app. That's important. Like here it's embedded in Safe, so it's like in the Safe. You go to apps, then to custom apps, and then you add the URL of the demo app, and then you should be able to enable them. Otherwise, you only see something else. I don't have it open right now, but yeah. No, you have to open it as a Safe app. Then it should work. Cool.
Thank you.
I've seen on your website that you are deployed in 12 networks. Is that right?
Safe contracts?
Yeah, the Safe contract. And
the Safe contracts, yes. So if you want to build on the Account Abstraction Kit, you could build on those 12 networks also. I mean, there's even more networks, I think. There's a repo. It's called Safe Deployments. If you check that out, you see actually all the networks where we are deployed per contract. So if you go here to the Gnosis Safe contract, you see this is a list of contracts where we actually, of chains where we deployed. So this is a lot of chains, because whenever there's a new chain, we try to deploy them, but we don't support them in our interface yet. But it's just the idea that we still deploy them already. So this is the full list of contracts. So if you want to hack on it, you could use any of these networks.
Okay.
But the new Safe Core protocol, which with the plugins and hooks, that's only on Gurley right now. So if you would want to use that somewhere else, you would have to deploy it yourself. Right for now, because it's still alpha, It's but if you want to hack on the existing productive contracts, right, the better proven ones, they're deployed on all these chains. It's called safe deployments.
Have you planned to deploy in Linea?
Do you know the chain ID by heart?
No.
And yeah, you can check in this repo.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
No,
not
but
sure.
Linea was live yesterday, so
Yeah.
I think not.
Let's see when the last update was here, 4 days ago. So probably not yet.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Manuel. That concludes our workshops for today. Happy hacking.